Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Backfire Simsport TV. Tonight, in our usual Friday night slot, we're bringing you round 8 of the official iRacing V8 Supercar series from the wonderful Road Atlanta circuit in Georgia, USA. I'm Clyde Whiting, and in the booth with me tonight are our usual suspects, Mr. Pete Bingham. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. Hope you enjoy.
You'll have to excuse Pete and his metal Mickey voice, but he's having a few internet troubles. Alongside myself and Pete is Mr. Bill Swit.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome, and glad to be here.
And as usual, running the bells and whistles in the background is Mr. Sam Booz.
Hello, everybody.
So, Bill, Road Atlanta, or I think to give it its proper name now, it's Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, also known as the Pork Chop. It's one of those historic tracks. Some call it the best road circuit in America. What do you make of this track, and what sort of racing do you think we're going to get tonight?
Well, I think it's a great track for the V8 Supercar. There's a lot of fast sections in here, various corners, not real difficult corners, nothing too tight. So it's really a great track for battling side by side. There's a lot of places to pass here. I think it's going to be a great show. As far as the best circuit in the U.S., I don't know about that, but it ranks up there pretty well. The circuit's changed a little bit over the years, but still, it's a great race course, and looking forward to this event.
Yeah, I believe it opened in 1970, if I can remember what I read earlier today. 12 turns, just a shade over 2.5 miles. Like you say, it's not the trickiest circuit on the calendar, but it is another one of those circuits that has got a bit of everything. You know, there's some very good technical turns. There's some straights, some long, not so straights. It has got a bit of everything. Pete, I don't know if you're still with us, but you tend to do a couple of circuits of the track. What do you think of it?
Hopefully you can still hear me. Is that
We
right?
hear you,
Yeah,
Pete.
am I on? Yeah,
Yep.
okay. This was one of the first tracks I learned on any racing game. I don't remember which racing game it was. And I remember turn 1 is critical to everything that comes for the rest of the lap. It's really hard to do turn 1, in my opinion. Other people probably find it easy, knowing my luck. And then when you get down to the fat end of the pork chop, or the bone end, I suppose it is, where you've got the two sharp right-handers. The first one sets the second one up, and both of them are quite technically tricky. And then towards the end of the lap, the chicane before you dive down the hill and under the bridge and back onto the start-finish straight is equally as tricky. You've got some amazing slipstreaming that goes on here. I really like this track. Like I say, it was one of the first ones that I learned.
Yeah, it's. I think myself and Road Atlanta has got a bit of a love-hate relationship. I love it in every other car apart from the V8 Supercar, in which I hate it. But you know, we're broadcasting this now on a Friday. We're getting numbers up every week. We've got a 23-car entry tonight with some names that we've not seen before. Some more names for us to get wrong with the pronunciation. But yet again, Mr. Nicole, I only race and win when you guys broadcast, is in the session. So, guys, Bill especially, we've got our usual suspects up the top and some new drivers. Give us a prediction for the win.
Well, it's kind of lame to say Nicole Foggy or Johnny Brandon or Tony Klusterman, because those are the three that I think are the top picks at the moment. But you know, you got some dark horses in there. Rich Warmingham, possibly. Let me see who else in there. Well, it could be some of the guys we don't know yet. I notice we have one person from Australia here. I recognize the name, but I've never seen him race. So it could be a dark horse, could be somebody we're not aware of. But it ought to be a lot of fun, and I think it's going to be a heck of a battle. I don't think it's going to be too many people running away. I think it's going to be a little, I think there's going to be groups here and there that are going to fight it out. Now, I was just looking to see if Wayne Sanderson's buddy's here tonight. I don't see him here, darn it. Well, anyway, it ought to be a good show anyway.
And Pete, this track has got overtaking opportunities. So, as Bill was saying, are we going to see the field stretched out? Are we going to see little groups of 5 and 6, or are the whole field going to stay together for this?
I don't think the field will stay together too much, because when you get tracks with lots of heavy braking zones and big getaway zones like you've got at this track, it will pull away, but it'll pull away in groups like you've just described. I think you'll find the term is the cream rising to the top. I think you'll have Tony and Nicole and Johnny and probably Rich all up at the top there, elbowing each other out of the way to try but like we saw the last time, some of the best racing, some of the most interesting racing is in the mid-pack, and I think it'll be a fascinating race.
Okay, so let's quickly run you through the grid. We've got Marco Namella on pole, Nicole Foggy second, Johnny Brandon third, Tony Klusterman fourth, Rich Warmingham fifth, Richard Alsop in sixth, Wayne Sanderson seventh, Stephen Walker in eighth, Kevin Duell in ninth, and Lane O'Connor in 10th. I'll leave the rest for you, Bill, because they're the ones with a hard pronunciation.
Thank you. Eric Burke in 11th, Jean-Philippe Chevalier, Chevalier in 12th, Anthony Woodward 13th, Tony Walker 14th, Garrett Boyd 15th, Craig Breen 16th, Michael Wickhock 17th.
And we're away.
And the rest of the field. Sorry, I couldn't get through it.
That's our fault for having a big field. So good start from Marco Namella, covers off Nicole into turn 1. Johnny Brandon there just shows his nose a little bit, but so far so good for the top guys.
Boy, I have to tell you, Marco Namella's really come alive these last few races.
Yeah, you're certainly right there, Bill. Marco is starting to show his speed in this car. We've got a challenge there. I believe it's Rich Warmingham going past Tony, or attempting to go past Tony Klusterman. He's got the inside line there. And it looks like Wayne or Richard? No, Richard is going to have a go as well.
That's Richard Alsop. Yeah, I'm with them too. Correct.
Tony managed to hold them both off.
Here we got two people pitting. Michael Wilcox, and I can't catch the number on the other car, sorry. I don't know what happened there. I didn't see any contact or anything.
Yeah, and at the moment our event viewer is showing Michael Wilcox and Tony Walker both.
Tony Walker, yep, okay, correct. Okay, up front, Marco Namella is keeping Nicole Foggy at bay at the moment. He's about 3/10 ahead of him.
Yeah, Johnny Brandon seems happy to sit in third at the moment. He's got a bit of a gap to Tony in fourth. Be interesting now that Tony's got away from Rich and Richard, whether he can close that gap on them.
Yeah, I guess Richard has slipped by Wayne Sanderson.
Sort of very nice paint job, isn't it, on the red car in front of Jean-Philippe. Who is that?
I believe that's Zach Fowler.
Yeah, I like that paint scheme. That's very smart. Bit wide there.
That's a knockoff of Will Davison's real supercar in Australia.
He's done a good job with that, or somebody has.
Yep, sure have. That car is sponsored by Milwaukee Tools, not Milwaukee Beer, so don't get confused. Looks like Jean-Philippe's creeping up on him a little bit in his Napa car. Uh-oh, went wide. He's going to go. Whoa! Almost came together between Jean-Philippe and Zach Fowler. Coming down the back straight now together.
Yeah, and this is where you get some good slip streaming.
Look at that, almost side by side.
Yeah, he's pulled out of the toe, and he's going to be a good mile ahead when he gets to this chicane.
Whoa, look at that.
Oh. Now
What
that's
a
some
move.
good braking there.
That
Wow.
was an up, coming back at him. That's a good battle right there.
Yeah, this is excellent racing, isn't it, Bill?
Yes, it is.
Look at the gap he's pulled just by going around one turn. I mean, that's what V8s are all about. Zach's trying to break the toe in front of him. Got a bit wide going around there, though.
That turn one you were talking about, Pete's a tough corner to get right, I'll tell you.
Yeah, it's hellish. If you're offline, it kind of spits you out. It's, oh, let me think about the turn that it reminds me of in a minute, and I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Oh, it's turn one at Brands Hatch.
Exactly.
If you get offline there, because it's off camber,
That's right.
It just spits you off into the scenery. This is.
You're thinking of Paddock Hill fan, Jeff.
I am.
A little lockup from Jean-Philippe.
Yeah, and that's put him right into the clutches of
Eric
Burke.
Yes, it is. Eric Burke, yep.
And Eric's going to get a massive toe behind him. All sorts of moves here. Up at the front, we've got an overtake going on here with Matteo Jarret.
Jarret. Matteo Jarret.
I did a pretty good job of that one, right?
I knew what you meant, Pete.
Of course you did. You were the only one that did. Zach's gone very well.
And he's holding it. Tank slapper on the grass, and yeah, he did a very, very good job there.
He did. That's one of those one-way ticket.
And I see Lane. Sorry, go ahead, Pete.
No, I was just going to look at the interval at the front. Yeah, here we are. He's right in the toe now.
It's really close, yeah.
Yeah, not sure whether Marco has made a small error somewhere, but Nicole closed that up in a hurry.
Oh, and he's on the inside of him. Couldn't make the pass.
That's a hard pass to make because the next turn is immediately a right-hander.
Yep. Johnny Brandon's not too far away either.
Well, while those two are scrapping, he's gaining on time. I'm surprised that Tony's not with this group.
And I see Lane O'Connor and Marco Lewert have disconnected. That's too bad.
Yeah, that's a shame. I wonder what happened back there.
I didn't see anything there either.
Lane probably forgot where he was.
I've got nothing on the event screen that I can see which would give us an indication of why they've left. That's very strange. Very strange.
Boy, those three cars in the front, that's a great battle. Wow.
We're about to see Elaine O'Connor. Oh. Lane parked it straight off the start.
And
Must be something serious
Nicole
going
Foggy's
on
on the outside of Marco coming into the hairpin. Whoop, almost lost it, held on to it, but he didn't get past him.
Well, with a bit of luck, Lane will pop onto the chat and let us know what happened. For now, we'll just know that it was time for a nana nap.
Familiar with those, yeah.
So, third place Johnny Brandon is now getting very interested behind his teammate Nicole Foggy, and Tony Kloosterman is actually closing in on them now.
He is, yeah, and we remember what happened last time out, was it? Or was that in the Race Tech League, where Johnny decided to take control of that situation?
Yeah, I think Johnny's hanging back a little bit at the moment. Too many. Those two guys tussling with each other could create a problem trying to go by him. Maybe he can't. Those guys are really ripping. They're going well.
Oh, and Zach is now behind. Well, he was behind anyway, wasn't he? Because he did a bit of trimming the verge. Jean-Philippe.
Yep. Yeah, did Garrett Boyd make his way past Zach whilst he was gardening, and Zach has then got him back? Oh, what's happened here?
Yeah, there's
changing places there.
Yeah.
Wow.
All sorts happening in that one. I don't think anybody can commentate that. There wasn't that much going on.
Whoever's driving that Penrite car just passed the Milwaukee car. I forget who's in that Penrite car.
Penrite, Garrett Boyd.
Okay, and he's gotten past. Oh.
And Dean Flavel has also got past Zach now as well. Jean-Philippe's been shuffled right to the back. He was leading this a minute ago, and that's how quick it can change.
Yeah, I think those four cars have just reversed positions.
Yeah,
A bit of a door bang there.
Yeah, and Joe Norton's off with no boot, so he's obviously come to blows with somebody.
Or somebody wanted to help him along.
Enthusiastically.
Yeah, exactly.
So back at the front, there's nothing in it. Nicole Foggy's still nailed to the back of Marco Nabela's car.
Talk earlier on in the chat was about a pit stop in this race. I don't know how close the fuel is going to be and how wide the pit window is, but we've seen before in these races that throw a pit stop in and strategy means everything.
Yeah, we've seen a few cars rolling towards the line with no fuel in the past, haven't we?
The other one I want to mention is Richard Alsop, because he was up with Rich Warmingham behind Tony Kloosterman, but he's now dropped down to 9th place. Don't know if we can... No, there it is.
There you go.
As if on cue, it pops up on the screen for us.
Nice work,
I'd like to see that again from the start, Sam. Yeah, so a bit of curb on the way in, the curb run out turned into grass, and then the car just wouldn't turn for him. And he still hasn't sorted that bloody window out.
So we nearly had a shuffle for position at the front there. Nearly, again, same point again. Nichols pushing the issue, and to your point, Clyde, look who's just in shot now.
Yeah, I think at the moment, I think Marco, although he got pole position, you know, obviously the fastest lap, I think he's the cork in the bottle. He's holding up Nicole, who's holding up Johnny, which is allowing Tony K to close in. We've got a battle going on here with Dean Flavel.
Yeah, he's gone around the outside there, I think. Oh, we've got terminal for Garrett Boyd.
Oh, that was Garrett Boyd. Yeah, I just sort of caught the back end of.
Yeah.
So he's on the inside. Oh, I think there was a touch from behind.
Zach was the person who turned him, and well, you've got to say it's Zach's issue there, haven't you? He's the overtaking car, and he inserted his nose where it shouldn't have been necessarily.
Most definitely, yep. So, and Woodward has been passed back by Richard Allsop, but he's not given up.
No, he's given a fight. Richard Allsop's car looks remarkably undamaged. He did make contact with the wall. Oh no, I can see the straight bars down
the left-hand side. Yeah, it looks pretty roughed up.
Near that window that you like so much.
Yeah, pretty. You couldn't break that. He's putting a move on Kevin Duval.
Yeah.
Who moves out of the way, and Woodward takes advantage as well.
Yeah, I was trying to work that out.
Yeah, sorry. That is Jake Sylvia.
And Zach is now back after Jean-Philippe again.
Wayne Sanderson running in 6th place is running all over the place looking for Jamie Wilson, but Jamie's not here tonight, so he's going after Rich Warmingham instead.
Yeah, and Tony's within 4/10 now of Johnny Brandon in 3rd.
Yeah, that's going to start hotting up soon, I think. There is a bit of a gap in there because Johnny looks like he's fallen off from Nicol, unless I'm reading it wrong.
He's dropped back about a second, hasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's possibly starting to take some different lines to defend from Tony, maybe. I'm not sure.
Either that or he's playing some sort of rear guard, but I doubt that'll happen. Very wide there, though, Johnny.
Yeah, he was very, very wide, is right.
Yeah, or it's either that or Nicol has stopped attacking Marco for now, which has allowed Marco to run his natural line, and they're just pulling away on pace.
Yep.
What Nicol said, give me a break for a minute and let me have a go at him without bothering me. But then I don't think Johnny would.
Yeah, so Zach and Jean-Philippe have just passed each other and passed back again.
Yeah, Nicol appears to be just riding at this point.
Richard Allsop has got past Kevin and gone back up to 7th.
Looks like Foggy's getting very fighty at the front here.
Yeah,
he's out of the slipstream and then back in.
He gets a big run out of that last corner, doesn't he?
Yeah. I mean, you got to say hats off to Marco. I mean, car control at the front of the race when you've got someone bearing down on you like that, that's impressive.
So far, Marco's putting his car where he's supposed to. That's for sure. He's doing a great job.
Just in car with Nicol at the minute. Is he going to pop out of that slipstream?
Nicol is really close.
He's got a better line through that corner, that's for certain, and now he's going to get some serious tow going up this hill.
I would think this would be where it would happen.
The problem is if Marco stays left, which he is doing, Nicol's going to struggle to get on the left-hand side of that car early enough. And he's off the gas there because of that reason going over the crest.
Yep, smart move.
Very. Oh, Nicol, what a catch. What a catch.
So that'll give Marco a bit of breathing space for 10 seconds.
Yep, and just as we have that, we've got Tony closing in.
tell me the alien death ray didn't help him on that one. Come on. Jeez, holy crap.
I think
Richard Allsop has just done a number over Kevin Duell. And Zach Fowler's just disconnected. Sam, do we know anything about that?
well, Zach did have an off track, but it wasn't a crash.
I think it might well have been.
Crash, yes, it was.
And he's vanished.
That's too bad.
Very strange. Usually your car has to come to a standstill before that happens, but no. It's back at the front. We're reasonably evenly spaced now. There's work for Nicole to do to get back on fighting terms with Marco Namela. Tony's playing rear guard now for Johnny Brandon, not that he needs it, and he's going to give him some attention.
Yeah, and that group's got about an 8-second lead over Richard Warman.
Yeah, and we've got Ant Woodward, who's closed in on the back of Kevin Duell now. And he's very, very close. And if he keeps his good lines and keeps in a slipstream, he'll be on him very shortly by the look of this. Good line through there, Ant. Good line.
It's a horrible blind crest, that.
It's
Oh
bumpy
boy,
as well.
is it ever.
It really is.
Is it
bumpy.
ever. That's a tough one.
You can take a lot of extra track there, not as much as Johnny did that time when we said he went wide, but you can get pretty wide there and get some good drive. But Ant's dropped off the back of Kevin at the minute. And yeah, I was just going to say Tony's very close on the timing screens. And look at Nicole, he's caught back up with Marco all of a sudden.
Yeah, just been watching the Brandon Klosterman battle, and the first half of the lap Tony seems to close in, and then the second half of the lap Johnny goes away. So possibly a slight difference in the car setup is just making the cars better in different places on the track.
Yeah, definitely. We've got Nicole stepping out from the slipstream, but he's on the wrong side. Ooh, what you doing, Nicole? Oh my word!
That was
Can you do
brave.
this? It was brave and very skillful.
Marco
Still not managed to do the job.
Marco
Yeah,
blows
got
Oh,
it
back.
right
yeah, he's
here.
got him.
Yep.
Although Nicole was off track there, as in he had one tyre off, which will slow him down. This might not be over just yet.
He's almost got a car length ahead of him. That's very close.
He's only
Can
got
Marco stick with it round the outside? This was where it's going to come, yes or no.
too wide there, wasn't he?
It's really, really hard to go round the outside.
Yeah, it
on
looks
that.
like Johnny Brandon's going to.
Oh, Marco, yeah. Good call from Marco, I think.
Yeah, I would say so. If we've got to have a pit stop in the race, then if you're going to get done for a position,
Good time to take it. Up. Nicole's off track. Out of turn one.
he's very far
Johnny.
off track actually.
Johnny
Yep.
and Tony just whizzed right by him.
So Nicole has just spent 16 laps trying to get past Marco, gets past him, then goes off track and drops down to third. That's the way racing goes, folks.
Especially on that corner.
Be interesting to see what traffic Marco comes out into. He's pitted with his teammate Richard Allsop, who needed damage repair. So it'll be. I'm interested to see where they end up coming out, and if they get held up behind others.
Marco's on his way
Marco's
out
coming
now.
out now.
Yep, he's going up the hill out of turn one.
Looks like he's been fired out of a cannon, doesn't it? I've never
Oh boy,
exited the pits that far.
he's not waiting, that's for sure.
Yeah, and he's got about 7 seconds to the next car, so he's got 3, 4, 5 laps maybe of getting the boot down and trying to claw a gap.
Yeah, and Tony's giving some pressure here to Johnny, and Tony's going to peel off. And who was
No, that was Nicole.
Oh, that was Nicole. Yeah, so Johnny's pitted.
Both Johnny and Tony have pitted, correct?
Yeah, so on the replay, yeah, Tony got passed by Nicole.
Were you able to determine whether any tyres are getting put on these cars based on the pit times? Because I haven't looked to see if the car pops up.
I would say it really depends on how long the pit stop is, because we know sort of anything over about 8 gallons, you might as well take tyres as well, as they do it both at the same time.
Yeah, that's true. Richard just doing John Philippe there. He's still got damage on that car. Richard Alsop, he's not let the damage run in. Very wide from whoever's following Garrett down the road there. Was it Joe Norton maybe?
So the actual pit stops are around 22 to 24 seconds. So I would say yes, they are taking time.
Okay, that's interesting. Nicole Foggy is now in the pits. Wayne Standerson has just pitted, I think.
Yeah, so that leaves Rich Warmingham out front on his own at the moment.
And Woodward making his way past. Oh, I'll let you do that one, Bill. Vlad.
Oh,
Zayan.
Zion Tchaikovsky.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll go with that. That sounds good.
Tchaikovsky. Yep.
And I think we know Vlad from one of our previous series.
It does look like a familiar name.
I don't believe that was Vlad's last name, though, was it? Unless he changed it because he got in so much trouble with us. I don't know. Not really. Sorry.
Either way, he's just pitted, as has Garrett Boyd.
We shall just call him the Impaler for the broadcast.
There you go.
If only he'd crash into some.
It appears Nicole has fallen behind Johnny Brandon, and Tony's behind Nicole. Going up the, they're going up
to and they are all behind Marco.
Yes. The undercut worked. He's only got about 1 second grace. So Rich Warmingham's pitted now. He was your race leader. Stephen Walker's in second and Eric Burke is in third.
Wide line there from, was it Ant Woodward?
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty scenic, wasn't it? Eric Burke's just wished everybody good luck on the chat, so he's hit the wrong button there instead of the pit-in button.
Yeah, and Eric has pitted and left Stephen out front.
He has, yeah. Some defensive lines from Ant Woodward, especially at the end of that last straight. He's got a bit of a gap now over Kevin Duell.
Johnny Brandon is now within half a second of Marco.
Yeah, there's a few close battles knocking about. Craig, sorry.
Oh, that's a wide line. Who's that?
It
Craig.
is. Have you got that one in a pure white car?
Yes.
Yeah, Craig Green. He just got the flashy lights from Richard Alsop there.
Yeah.
Oh, he's off again. He's off on the second left hand. Back on behind Wayne Sanderson.
He's having a bit of a dicey race at the minute, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he's getting a little hassled by all the people that are going like gangbusters, and he's a little bit out of sync right now.
So the Sorry, Bill.
Wanted to shout out to Craig. I mean, that's a guy we haven't worked with before, but he picked up 4 places from where he started till this little fiasco, so he's doing pretty well. Like, uh-oh, what happened? Just locked up or something. Whoa! Boom! Almost like he had a connection problem there.
Yeah, he may have done.
Wow.
Oh, that was very risky, wasn't it? Yeah, there's something wrong with his kit.
Yeah,
He's
that-
blinking too.
That looked like a hardware issue, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. I mean, all of a sudden he had the brakes locked, ran into the guardrail on a funny angle, kind of weird.
Yeah, Kevin Duvalli's looking at Ant Woodward's innards.
Certainly is. He's reading the dials on Ant's dashboard at the minute. He was that close a moment ago, but he's dropped off the back of him now. Got a bad drive out of that corner. Needs to regroup. Meanwhile, at the front, oh, what have we got here? We have Vlad, the Impaler. Don't remember Vlad the Impaler being in purple though. Never mind.
And that is Garrett Boyd in front of him.
It is Garrett Boyd. Yeah, he's been in quite a few camera shots. He was part of the one of the party of 4 that was racing one another and reversing their order.
Yes, he
earlier on.
was.
Yeah, and Jean-Philippe hasn't given up on these two either, so that could turn into a very good bat. Johnny Brandon's just lost about half a second at the front to Marco De Mello.
This battle's still raging here though. That's a pretty beaten up car from Glance, isn't he? But he's probably been impaling lots of people. With Jean-Philippe now closing on them quite quickly.
Yeah, I can see Vlad's got some damage on the left-hand side.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Driver's left.
I think he's got damage on both sides. It's
He's got his
I think
big
they're
there.
oh, a little
Ooh,
wide.
bit of
Yeah.
grass.
Boom.
Might lose a position here. Stayed on the inside and
Jean-Philippe was very nice not to give him a little chrome bumper there.
yeah. Is that the leaders following these 3?
It is. Yeah, it's Marco and
And somebody leaving the
Was it
pits
Tony
as
Brandon?
the leaders come round, which is gonna upset the balance at the very front of the. Oh, a bit of flashing lights there. Was that Johnny? Oh, he's wriggling. Bit crossed up from Johnny there. I'm sure that the word "drat" was said just then.
Yeah,
Where's
there's Craig
Simon?
Breen coming out.
oh, look at Vlad.
Oh, cheers, Glad, yeah.
Went past Garrett.
Tony Kloosterman has dropped back quite a distance, unless my eyes are deceiving me.
Yeah, I looked at it earlier, and he's lost about 2 seconds on the last lap, I believe.
That can only have been some sort of issue.
And Marco Numella has put a lap car between him and Johnny Brandon coming into the S's there.
Kevin Dewell still admiring the back of Ant Woodward's car. Ant Woodward doing a good job of
Oh, goodness.
Are they-
Jean-Philippe went off. He's okay.
Are they dueling?
Wow.
terrible. Even
Vlad's off track.
He is, and he's right in front of the leaders here at the minute.
Oh,
Although he's doing a reasonable job of keeping up.
I think Nicole Foggy gave a couple of little bumps there to who was that?
Garrett.
It was Garrett, I believe. Vlad's off again.
Yeah,
It's
keeping it going there.
It's a busy bit of track at the moment there.
It certainly is. I mean, that's like the M25, isn't it?
Wow.
So these two, Garrett and Jean-Philippe, get to carry on dueling. And they've got Tony Kloosterman to contend with next, who's coming through the field.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether Tony made a mistake or just thinking when Craig come out of the pits, did Tony get caught behind Craig maybe? Not sure.
Yeah, he kind of came out at Johnny Brandon's point, I think.
Yeah, which would have put Tony behind him. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Shout out to Wayne Sanderson. He must be really bored tonight, not having Jamie Wilson beating him up all night long. Here.
John Phillips just moved out of the way, let Tony through.
Sensible choice.
Yeah, so again, back up the front, you've still got Johnny and Marco are fairly close. A little bit of a gap to Nicole now, and then a bit more of a gap to Tony Kloosterman with Rich Warmingham in fifth.
Yeah, Rich is kind of in a different time zone. He's got about 7 seconds up to Tony, and he's got about 5 seconds back to Richard Alsop. So he's kind of in a little what should I say, holding pattern there.
So we're on lap 25 of 36, so a little over 2/3 distance. We all know that patience is the key in this car, but it does come a time in the race where you're running out of laps, and sometimes you just have to make that move.
Yeah, the problem is, as you run out of laps, you run out of tyres as well. And patience sometimes, and those three don't really mix very well. We have Kevin Duell. Well, he was looked like he was getting towed by Anthony Woodward a minute ago.
Yeah, that duel is still going on.
Are you claiming that one, are you?
I've got to.
He's less than 0.2 of a second behind Ant Woodward now. Basically pushing him over the hill here, I think.
Rich Warmingham's beginning to catch up with the adventurer group here.
Yeah, he's got a bit to sort out though, hasn't he?
This is a good shot on board on Kevin's front bumper.
He's obviously very handy in this car because he's not letting Ant get away at all, is he? And obviously Racetech V8 ESC league driver.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Kevin usually drives. Obviously, we've seen him a couple of times in this car now. He's obviously a handy racer. It looks like he's got about 3,500 I rating, so he's definitely no mug.
Definitely not.
For sure.
My rating's never been anywhere near that. More like three and a half.
If I add up my oval and my road racing and my dirt, it's about 3,000.
There's lots going on at the minute.
Ooh, it's a couple of tyres on the grass there.
Yeah, I think
That'll
Craig
give Ant a break.
Breen's had some time off track as well. And Tony Walker. There's a few people just had some bizarre off track.
Huh.
Yeah, let's not forget though, these guys could be very, very new to the car. We know what a bitch she can be at some point, but it's nice to see these new guys in the race.
True, very true.
This car can really frustrate you, but it's one of the most entertaining on the service, bar none.
Oh dear.
Oh, Ant is getting close to, who is that in front of him?
We've just watched a replay of Tony Walker spearing off the track again, which...
Yeah, I think he did what the technical term is doing a Clyde. So you go up a blind hill and you go, yeah, I know where this turn is, it's a right. And then when you get there, it's a left.
So, to my eyes, Nicole Foggy looks like he's closed in on this lead group now.
A little bit, yeah. I agree, Pete.
Yeah, Tony's still a bit adrift at the moment, so we're not going to get a 4-car exchange, I don't think.
Johnny seems to have dropped off of Marco as well.
Yeah, he does temporarily. Marco's very smooth, isn't he? Very smooth.
Boy, he certainly has picked up his game, let me tell you. Wow. Doing very well. Whoa, baby. Nicole is practicing his drifting, I think. Oh.
The crash for Joe Norton.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that looks like a big one.
Let's see what happens.
Oh,
Oh, that was a strange one.
it was one of those slow motion slides that I'm so good at. Nicole Foggy went off track. According to my timing screen, it says Nicole. Oh, lovely slow motion picture of Joe Norton.
Nicole is in the pits.
And Nicole's boxed. Wow, he must have had a serious moment off camera.
He is in the pits.
That's his recovery. Tony Klusterman passing him on the inside. Oh,
what did he do there?
I don't know. Looks like we don't have footage of the bit before it.
And he's disconnected.
He's gone.
Oh, here we go. This might be it. So he comes round the bumpy one, down through the sweeper, right on the back of Johnny Brandon. Bit of curb, and loses it on the dirt. Gets a bit of wall involved, and then
yeah, I think that was
broken steering.
Angry. I'm driving into this wall and I'm quitting.
That's a shame. That was looking like a tasty battle.
Yeah.
But it just goes to prove that you can be as good as Nicole is and still have this car bite back.
Yep, for sure.
I mean, that was one rear tyre off on the dirt. That's all I saw. And the loss of control is dramatic in this car, isn't it?
Yeah, and from a personal point of view, there's not many things that I see Nicole do that I can match, but I can say I'm equally as good as doing that as Nicole.
Yeah, kind of disastrous when you have the rear differential in this supercar is a spool rear end, which means both wheels drive the same. So if you get one off in the dirt and one on the pavement, you have two different slip angles, you got a problem.
That's really interesting. I didn't even know that. Been
What's
driving
that?
this car for 4 years.
It's got a spool rear end, yep, which makes it really tough.
Yeah, good bit of information from our resident mechanic, Bill Switzer.
Yeah.
Just from our original 23 car grid, we've got 5 retirees: Lane O'Connor, Zach Fowler, Craig Breen, Jake Sylvia, and Nicole Foggy. And Michael Wilcox, I believe, is many laps down, but has been sat in the pits for 33 minutes, so perhaps he's just enjoying the show.
Yeah, Craig Breen and Jake Sylvia both joined Foggy out of the race. They obviously sustained too much damage to their vehicles. Somebody just vanished. Oh, it was Jake Sylvia off my screen, that's right. I think that's connection issues. I think he got annoyed with his connection because he was blipping in and out. Oh, Johnny Brandon. Fishtailing down the start-finish straight.
Well, it appears that we have the top 10 are still on the same lap. The rest of the field is a lap down or more.
Yep, that would definitely seem the case.
Yeah, Marco's got nearly a 3-second lead now with 5 laps to go.
Wow. He's absolutely kicking it.
He is, and what this does, of course, with Nicole being out, it promotes Tony Clouston up to 3rd. Richard Warmingham is in 4th. Richard Alsop is in 5th. Wayne Sanderson is in 6th. Ant Woodward, is he still keeping Kevin Duell behind him? In 7th. Kevin Duell in 8th. Stephen Walker in 9th, and Eric Burke rounds out the top 10 and the lead lap cars.
Yeah, Ant's got a little bit of a gap on Kevin at the moment. About a second, I think.
Yeah, that duel is over for a little while.
Yes.
Although, just to carry it on, I do think Kevin will do well.
Oh dear. Are you here all night?
I'm here all week.
See, I wish I saw that line on my timing screens. It says Tony Walker past Nicole Foggy. Never said that on my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think much is going to happen in the top 3 guys, barring any accidents, mistakes from any of these guys. But Richard Alsop is, or he was closing in on Rich Warmingham. It seems to have stagnated a little bit now.
Yeah, a little second and a half or so, roughly. He's really pushing it though, trying to catch him.
Yeah, and Rich Warmingham has got an acre of track in front of him before he can find a Tony Clouston.
Yeah, he's not going to have any traffic problems now, for sure.
And behind Richard Alsop is 14 seconds of dead air to Wayne Sanderson as well. So
who's still looking for Jamie Wilson?
Yeah, Rich Alsop took a second out of Rich Warmingham on the last lap.
Go get him, baby.
Yeah, he's actually pulling some of the fastest laps. In fact, that was the fastest lap, I think.
Yeah, it was a 1:19.5. He's lost a 10th on that lap.
Good effort getting the same sort of lap times as Marco and Johnny Brandon, though.
Yeah, fastest race lap is Nicole Foggy with a 1:19.41.
When you consider that Marco's now doing 1:19.8 and Johnny behind him is 1/10 slower than that, it shows how hard these guys must be pushing if they're only 0.4 of a second, 0.5 of a second behind the fastest lap of the race.
For
Because
sure.
they're on old time.
Yeah, you're right, Pete. They're on used up tires also, which is pretty decent.
Yeah, used tyres, low fuel. That's where these cars come alive. And by alive, I mean the back end goes, here I am.
Yeah, out of one rear view mirror or the other, one wind mirror or the other. See, Rich Warmingham and Richard Alsop are still knocking out really, really fast laps. Richard Alsop faster than the 2, the 3, 4 leaders. He's the fastest man on track at the minute, and he's in 5th. So you would believe that he's catching Rich Warmingham hand over fist.
He's really quick in this section. He's closing on him quickly.
And they're a full second faster than Tony Clouston in the last lap.
So the leaders are now on the penultimate lap.
What's that mean? The last lap?
Second from last, Bill.
Oh, the penultimate. What was that word?
Penultimate.
Penultimate. Okay. I have to look that up after the broadcast is over.
So there's a few cars getting in close contention now. One is Richard Alsop. And then we've got
Yeah,
Garrett
Rich.
Boyd.
Sorry, Pete. Rich is just under half a second behind Rich Warmingham now.
Yeah, it's going to
Very
get a bit
close,
closer,
yeah.
that one.
Rich has obviously made a mistake somewhere or got some wheel spin coming out of a turn.
Whoa.
He was on the grass there.
He sure was.
Okay,
Little Rich Daly.
white flag lap, guys.
Okay. So Richard Allsop with his left-hand window that Clyde likes.
All or nothing lap.
Yeah, hero or zero for some people as well.
Boy, oh boy. Richard Alsop's got the pedal through the floor. Nice
And this
battle.
Coming up is his last opportunity, so through these next two right-handers, he needs to absolutely get on terms with Rich Warmingham.
He is really close. Wow.
He certainly is. He needs to absolutely nail this slipstream. This is one of his last opportunities. I think we're going
Pulling away a little
to
bit.
present the win to Marco Namela very shortly. Do we dare look away from this little battle?
Marco's got over the line in first. Well done, Marco. Johnny
Good job, Marco.
Oh,
Here we are.
Look at this. Whoa. I think they came together.
Oh, and
There was a touch.
Yeah.
There was a touch.
Was there contact, mate?
Looked
I lost
like it.
I lost my
Oh,
picture.
this is... Yep, Richard Allsop's got the advantage going through here, but Rich Warmingham
Wow.
fighting all the way.
Oh, that was close over the line.
And terribly exciting back
Yeah,
here as
another
well.
one. This is
Sean
Vlad.
Philippe. And Vlad's
Vlad.
taking the advantage here. Oh, he's...
Oh,
has
Vlad's got
he?
very, very wide.
Oh, that's going to be disappointing.
Oh, no, he's got him. He's got him.
He's got him. That was equally as exciting.
Yeah, that was for 12th and 13th.
Doesn't matter where it's for when it's a fight.
Fight is a fight. So Tony
Wow.
Walker coming round in 17th. We'll just see a replay of...
Got another... Oh, is this the replay of that last?
This is Garrett.
Yep, he's taken that place on the back straight.
Is that against Joe Norton?
I think that's... Yeah, definitely, yeah. Yep, another close finish there.
Well, guys, that was
Ah,
an entertaining race. Problem for Nicole Foggy. But you can't really take anything away from Marco Namela. Led right at the start. Nicole Foggy got past him. Marco immediately pitted, got the undercut, came out in front of everybody else once the field had finished pitting, left him up top. So, yeah, great tactics from Marco there, Pete.
Absolutely, he just looks smooth the entire race. It'll be interesting to have a word with him in a minute and see what his take on it was. He had an XVR car pretty much in his rearview mirror the entire race, and sometimes nailed to his rear bumper. So to manage to stay in front, lead the race, and then eventually win it with that kind of pressure is excellent.
Yeah, it certainly was. So just to run down the finishing order. First place win, top step of the podium, Marco Namela. Second place, Johnny Brandon. Third, Tony Kloosterman. Then we've got Richard Allsop, Rich Warmingham, Wayne Sanderson, Ant Woodward, Kevin Duval, Stephen Walker, and Eric Burke rounded out your top 10. Dean Flavel in 11th. Jean-Philippe Chevalier in 12th. Matteo Jarret in 13th. Joe Norton 14th. Vlad Zayanchakovsky in 15th. Garrett Boyd 16th. Tony Walker 17th. And then our non-finishers, Nicole Foggy in 18th. Jake Sylvia in 19th, Craig Breen in 20th, Zach Fowler 21st, Michael Wilcox in 22nd, and Nana Nap Lane O'Connor in 23rd. So, Pete, you get the first interview. Would you like our race winner?
Certainly would.
Here he comes.
Good evening, Marco. How are you doing? Race winner.
Good. Good
How
race.
did you find that race? Looking in your rearview mirror and seeing an XVR car for nearly the entire race.
I was just focusing on not making mistakes, and I thought I had the car was good on braking, so I thought I could defend on the racing line. So, yeah, that was my plan.
And you didn't manage to pull a gap until a bit further into the race, did you? You were one of the very first to pit. Was that part of your strategy all along?
Yeah, because I don't know how to calculate the fuel, so I knew the full tank is 20 laps. So if I pit on 16 and get full tank, I can get to the end.
Right, that's a decent way to work out the maths. I've done that many times myself. Were there any highlights of the race for you, other than obviously crossing the line in first?
That 3 wide into turn 2, that was pretty interesting with the lapped cars and one car coming out of pits.
Yeah, we noticed that. I can't remember which car that was now. Was it Garrett? Yeah, he came out in front of all the leaders, I think. So yeah, that was an exciting piece of footage. There was excitement all the way through the field, actually. Is there anybody you'd like to have a shout out to after your race?
Richard. Me and Richard were practicing quite a lot on past 2 weeks on different events, so yeah, Richard and my team. Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, Richard also had a really good race and was picking up a lot of speed and a lot of time. At the end, he was even turning laps faster than you guys at the front. So, yeah, good shout out to Richard. Well done on your race victory tonight, Marco. I'm sure you're very proud.
Yeah, thank you.
Marco, this is Bill. You did an excellent job. You looked smooth all night. Good going, man. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done, Marco. Thanks for joining us in the booth.
And thanks you guys for doing this.
Not a problem. Our pleasure. Catch you later, Marco.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.
Okay, Bill. Johnny Brandon.
You do, Johnny.
Johnny Brandon, welcome to the booth.
Hello, hello.
That was an interesting race.
It's great, wasn't it? Must have been good to watch.
Yeah, there was. I know you guys only see what goes on at the front, but we had battles all the way through the grid. Obviously, up the front there, you had Nicole looked like he was being held up by Marco. Marco was the cork in the bottle. In turn, that held you up because you caught him but couldn't go anywhere. Then Tony Kloosterman was closing on you. Nicole finally gets past Marco. Marco immediately pits, and Nicole gets on the grass and gives up that first position to you and Tony. So, yeah, that was all going on up there.
Yeah. You don't really need me here for? Yeah. It was, yeah, it was great. I mean, Marco, not sure how much he was holding. I think we had better pace if we could have got past, but he had the right pace in the right places. And he didn't make any mistakes. He thoroughly deserved that. It was super tough. Yeah, we it's the first official race for us this week. Got on it with like an hour before the race. Thought the car felt good. And, really struggled with the rear. I don't think either of us enjoyed the setup. I mean, I haven't seen Foggy make 2 mistakes in a race before, so let alone one.
Well, you both enjoyed it more than Lane did because Lane jumped the lights and rage quit.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when we have an hour's practice and when Lane has an hour's practice. Me and Foggy kind of get away with it. Lane's slowly. And he wasn't happy. I think he actually, when he joined the practice with him, he thought it was Road America. And he come in, and when we said, no, it's Road Atlanta. Why have you given me a set for Road Atlanta? Because it's Road Atlanta Lane. Oh, no. You know, he was devastated.
Brilliant.
So, it was never going to go well.
And live on Backfire Simsport TV.
Indeed. You know how he likes the limelight.
So, just quickly on the back end of the race, was it the back end of the stint that your setup went away because
Yeah.
Lane on the brain now? Marco seemed to be able to match you in that second stint and then pull away towards the.
Yeah, but at the start of the second stint, I got behind him and just saved the fuel again, just cruising, waiting for an opportunity a bit later, because Foggy was coming at that point. So it was just all right, don't slow us up too much, take it easy. But then the longer it went on, the worse ours fell off. It was just a rear end, for me especially. And then I just started making mistakes with it. And the most frustrating thing is I figured it out with 3 laps to go. Made some adjustments on the in-car adjustments and it completely sorted it. So better late than never, I suppose, but it was a bit late.
Yeah, well, at least if you do another official, you know where you are. So, before we let you go, Johnny, anybody?
I thank Nickel for making a mistake for once. He's not very happy, but I'm sure he'll get over it. Yeah, all the XBL teammates, PowerMax Racing, Immortal, Virtual Racing Association, Host 365. You guys, for what I'm sure is a great broadcast, and it seems to be working miracles for the V8 officials in Europe, the European time zone. So thanks, guys.
23 car grid this week.
Yeah, that was really good.
It's great. Yeah, and I wish there weren't so many good people coming in here. But it's great. Shane Conrad wasn't here actually. It was Conrad from last week.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he was
I
very
expected him
last
to be
week.
there. Yeah, but I'm sure he'll be back.
Okay, Johnny, well, thanks for joining us in the booth. Thanks for turning up for the race, and well done on your second position.
Yeah, cheers. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Great stuff.
Yeah, we
Thanks,
did
guys.
too, Jack.
Okay, we'll catch you later, Johnny. Okay, Bill, we'll leave TK in your hands.
How about Pete? Let Pete do it. I'm not in the mood if you don't mind.
Good evening, Tony Klusterman. How are you doing?
Very well, Pete. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, thanks. So, a third place after all of that chaos. That must seem pretty good, right?
Yeah, it was entertaining from my spot. It was,
Yeah.
there was a lot going on, so I was quite comfortable back there in fourth place and just waiting for the fireworks to happen.
Yeah, I mean, and you were cruising up behind, and then you were falling back, and then they were fighting, and you were cruising back up again, and then pit stops happened, and we looked at your times, and you were quite a way back after maybe an incident or just getting used to the new set of tyres. It had a bit of everything, that, and there was people coming out of the pits, and people were 3 wide in front of you, and all sorts.
Yeah, there seemed to be an awful lot of traffic, and traffic wanted to race today for some reason. I'm not sure why, but yeah, the first 2 laps of the pits were not good. Kind of burned up the tires, and then halfway through the stint, I realized that I had underfilled and I needed to save about 0.7 of a gallon. So the last 6-7 laps was just manage the position. I had quite a gap to Richard, I believe, in fourth place. So it was just puddle along and salvage third. So it was a shame about Foggy. He managed to spin it there, I see, on that really rough section. So that was a shame because I think there would have been another battle up front.
Yeah, absolutely, and the field's good and strong today, isn't it? 23 cars we started with.
Yeah, that's great. It's nice to see that the participation's increasing. I'm sure that has a lot to do with the broadcast, and the quality of the field's excellent. So yeah, some good racing.
Yeah, and Marco was impressively smooth at the front, managed to keep the XVR guys behind him, and I'm sure you wanted to be up there as well, fighting for that position. Anybody?
Marco's found another speed the last few weeks.
Yeah.
He's like that guy in the movies. When he needs an extra gear, he just downshifts one more, and away he goes.
Yeah, absolutely awesome. Anyone you'd like to thank?
Simmerability, Never Quit Racing, Race Tech, for sponsoring our main league on Saturdays. If anyone's watching and wants to join up, we've got some room. And thanks to you guys for doing the broadcast, Backfire Simsport TV.
Thank you very much, Tony Kloosterman.
Take care, guys.
Still couldn't get rid of Tony, so he disconnected himself. I have trouble getting rid of Tony every week. So, guys, I thought that was a fascinating race. I think it was masterful from Marco. It was really good to see some new names in the series. Let's hope that they come back for more, and if they get the taste for it, maybe they'll sign up to our league. I don't think there was really anything else we could have asked for from that race, was there, Pete?
No. I mean, that had brilliance all over it, didn't it? Even the people who had pitted and were coming out were part of the story of the lead racers. And that's the sort of thing that you want to see. You want to see lots of overtaking, even if it's overtaking back markers or the rear of the field who are learning the car or getting better at the car, racing one another. We had everything. It was all the way through. We had drama at the front. We had drama at the back. Just a great race. Action everywhere.
Bill, your summary of the race?
Well, you guys pretty much covered everything. From the start to the finish, it was very entertaining. We had a broad range of drivers and abilities, and it was really wonderful. It was very entertaining, and so many battles. And believe me, any of the fellas we haven't covered on our broadcast before, if we didn't mention your name, we're very sorry. And but we'd sure like to see you back, because it was excellent from front to back. What else can you say? And Marco Nermella was the king of the show, no doubt. He didn't put a wheel wrong all day long. Did a fantastic job, and was really a heck of a lot of fun.
And just a word to the new guys, like I say every week, if you're watching this broadcast back, you will now know how badly we are at pronouncing names, so please feel free to drop us a line and put us right. So guys, we are back next week with round 9 from Imola Grand Prix, which is always an exciting track to race on. For our viewers, we will be doing the ECA Endurance Championship. They have a 10-hour race on Sunday. And if you want to watch some more V8 action, the Racetech V8 ESC League is at Silverstone tomorrow night, and the race will be live on Apex Racing TV. So if you're not a member of the league yet, why not? But if you don't want to race and you just want to watch it, get over to Apex TV and you can watch us on there. So guys, I think it's about time we called it a night. Any last thoughts from you, Bill?
Yep, big thanks to Backfire Simsport TV for having us around, and of course to the Euro V8 Supercars and the Supercar series, and to you three guys and Sam. It's really a great experience, a lot of fun to be with you guys.
I'm sure we will echo that, Bill. Pete, any last words of wisdom from you?
Oh, I've never been declared as being wise, but no, great night. The more races we can get, the more great nights we will have, and the more dynamic it'll be. So if you are watching and you're thinking of racing this car, give it a go. It'll have your life at first, but then you'll enjoy it, get good at it potentially, and love it after that.
Excellent. And Sam, I know we don't let you talk very often. Race recap from you, all good?
All good. Really good hand of the race. I thought we had no battle for the end, but yeah, Richard also did great move on reforming arm at the end. That was great.
So if anybody else didn't understand a word of that, don't worry, because we didn't either. We just let him have a small speaking part every now and again just to keep him happy. So guys, it just leaves me to say good night to all of our viewers. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to our drivers for racing. And we will see you in the morrow. Good night, all.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, good night.